trajectory or arc that a creative person goes on, I think this is the episode for you. So stick around for that. Okay, so Adrian, if people don't know who you are, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of your backstory because I want to dig into that.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? My name is Adrian Purr, also known as OMG Adrian on my social media handles. You know, it's interesting, like, how can I describe myself in like one word? I guess the easiest way is a filmmaker. I make videos, but I just like doing all creative things. I just don't share them, but most people would know me as a filmmaker. Just being creative is something that I've done my whole life. It's something that, like, whether I was told it was something I should follow or not, that's something that my heart decided to follow and never drop. And it ended me up here, which is crazy. You know, I've never dropped it, and it's always just been my safe space for expression.
Okay, we were talking a little bit before the show, before we started recording, in this other career that you had.
Oh, no.
I won't embarrass you, but I want to know. Yeah. I want to know, when is the first moment this creative spark revealed itself to you? Where were you? What were you doing? What was it about?
There were so many little moments as a kid that I remember picking up on. For example, I remember being like 10 years old or so, and sometimes even younger, but one specific moment is I was in the car with my family, and we were driving somewhere, I don't know, stuck in traffic. We were listening to Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001. And I don't know what it was about it, but the drums were hard. And I remember just like not knowing what a kick drum was, not knowing what a snare drum was, and like just picking out, oh, this is a pattern. It does do, do, do. And I was like, the other sound is doing like every so amount of times. And that brought me so much joy. I don't know why, but I would like pick apart music and I would look out my window, and, you know, as all kids do, and like imagine you're in a music video. I would just be like, oh, this would be a great scene. And from there, it just became like my escape from like, it's not like there was anything I needed to escape from, but it just brought me into, I guess that would be my version of daydreaming. I wouldn't really think of myself doing things like most kids, like they daydream about themselves living a dream, but I would just think of, you know, just different scenes as if it was a music video or a movie, and like how this song scores this scene that I'm watching right now.
I have so much to pull apart here from that. The fact that you can listen. How old are you at this time, you think? 2000, you said 2002?
2001.
2001, okay.
Yeah,
so how old are you?
Like 10.
Okay, 10.
Yeah.
It's amazing because when we hear music or things that we don't study, we just hear all of it. We can't break apart the layers. Like when I look at a design, a poster, I can break up every single little part. But somebody's like, what are you looking at? The fact that you're listening to this and you're starting to break apart the pieces. Is there a musical background here? Are your parents in music? Or did you study music?
I didn't study music, but it's something that I've been drawn to my whole life. My uncle, one of my uncles, is really good at singing and playing the guitar. And also, I'm Filipino, so I grew up around karaoke since before I could even speak. So it runs in our Filipino blood to just be around music. I'm not blessed with like a beautiful singing voice, but I was just around it. And I don't know, I think like inadvertently, like it kind of just molded my musicality. But yeah, no, I never studied any of it.
Okay. We're going to dive in a little to stereotypes a little bit here. What is it with Filipino culture that makes most of you, not all of you, really good at singing, carrying tunes, and being able to dance, especially hip hop, and the swag and the style? Like, what is it? I don't understand it, but I can appreciate it.
I don't know at all.
Really?
I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I had some of it. I wish I could dance.
No, come on, you have.
I could. Dressing up is easy.
Yeah. Okay.
But like the talent and the skill to sing and dance, like on any given moment, like you could walk down like a karaoke bar in the Philippines and you would have sworn there's like 5 people like being as good as Adele or Whitney or any of these folks. No disrespect to any of those incredible legends, right? But they're like God level good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that's in the water. But these people, they're nuts. So shout out the Philippines. Like I was born with something, not all of it, not all of the musical ability, but like it's in here. I just can't execute it.
10 years old, you're listening to the beat, you can break it down, you're dissecting it, and then the first thing that you feel like you're having is you're visualizing what the music will look like. Now, I've grown up mostly in California for my life, and until someone exposes you to something, you see things and you don't know that somebody did that. You just assume it just happened. I'll give you an example, okay? I'm a bit older than you. I'm introduced to music videos through Friday night videos because we didn't have cable. We didn't have MTV or anything. My cousin from LA comes up and he says, hey, it's Friday night videos. Let's stay up and watch this. And Michael Jackson's Thriller is debuting on Friday night videos, I think. And my head explodes. I'm like, what is this art form? And I know nothing about it. But here you are 10 years old and you're like, I'm visualizing the images that go with this.
I'm in the generation that already had TRL.
Okay.
So like I had seen music videos. So, and I was like huge into music as a kid. Like all my older cousins like put me on to Pac, Jay-Z, Biggie, all these folks. So yeah, I'd been exposed to it, but like I just, you know, when you ask like what is one of the first times you remember like my creative spark or my creative brain working, it was then. It was literally us driving across the Bay Bridge, and I'd never forgotten it.
Let's move forward in a timeline. When does this manifest itself into a thing that might feel like a profession or career for you?
Oh man, I'd say the delusional version of me.
I like that version.
Probably, I'd say 23.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we skipping over the music part?
Oh, a little bit, but like 23 because that's when I finally started getting paid for creative things.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
But because I knew I wanted it to be a career, but you know, having Asian parents or going to I went to a private school from kindergarten to 8th grade. Art was just an elective class.
Right.
You know, and I wanted to get into these great high schools, wasn't smart enough, or well, on paper, I was never that good at school. So, you know, they would tell me like, stop drawing, stop making beats on your desk. Like none of that stuff is gonna, like, that's not as important as learning fractions and inequalities and, you know, algebra.
Yeah.
So it had been drilled into my head that it wasn't a real thing.
Right.
And then I started getting paid for it. And I was like, oh, this might be able to be a thing. So there's like a huge gap from when I first, you know, from when it first entered me to when did I feel like I can make this a reality. And even in 2022, I still felt like, will I be doing this 20 years from now? Like it's tough. Like it's, you know, it's not easy. You know, it's like you're fighting. I mean, whether you're working in the corporate world or not, like you're always fighting for the spot you feel like you deserve. So for the first time ever this year, I was like, oh, I really do this.
Okay, that's heavy. It's hitting me right now. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to unpack all that stuff. I want to dive there, but
It's become a therapy session.
well, I love this, man. I love how you're processing all this stuff, because this is the thing I want to let a lot of folks know. You see somebody you admire that's got hundreds of thousands of followers. You think, oh, it was like ordained by some supreme being that this was your path and it was super clear. And to hear you say it is not like a year and a half ago, you're still thinking like, am I supposed to be doing this? Is this the thing?
Right, because I was 32. I was 32 with like $13 in my bank account. Actually, I was like, I need to sell this watch. I need to sell this camera. I mean, like life hit me in so many ways that I didn't expect. So even with, you know, having the accolades under my belt, like whether things were Grammy nominated or, you know, award winning, I still don't know. As a creative, you don't know what your future holds. Like, and then I applied to jobs. And then I didn't get a single interview. I applied to 60 creative jobs
like
and then
what?
non-creative jobs. Like I applied to like 60 something of them and I landed 0 interviews. And this is having had an extensive commercial career, music video career.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're either overqualified or underqualified, or we also just
And you know who really suffers when someone gets divorced? It's not them, kids. So automatically, you know, the kids weren't first.
Yep.
If the kids were first, you'd figure it out. You'd get over yourself, you get over your egos, you talk about it, you communicate, you figure it out. But of course, they say the number one, I've seen a lot of stats that the number one cause is not money, it's not infidelity, it's lack of communication.
Crazy.
Lack of expectations being explained and understood at the beginning, and lack of communication consistently over the years. and not putting the kids first.
So good.
So yeah, man, I could talk about this all day, but I appreciate your.
Yeah. What shifted? Because like I feel like I met you in 2017,
It had to be early.
and then
When were we in the condo at the Aria
yeah, I mean,
with Sean? When was
yeah,
that?
I feel
Or
like
did we connect before that?
I feel like it could have been. It could have
I
been.
didn't have kids, so it had to be before 19.
Yeah, no, it was definitely before 19. I think it was 2017 or 2018. I feel like there like over the last few years there has been an emphasis, like, yeah, your relationship with God has been more, you've been more vocal about it, and maybe he's just been doing a bigger work in you. Like, what has shifted? Because I've witnessed a shift between.
It was he healed me in a sense where I had it all, everything I wanted in a sense, in terms of family, money, the houses, the freedom to do what I want when I wanted. I had the kids, but something was still, and I've always believed. So it's not like I never believed, but I didn't have a close relationship. So I something was missing. I was still anxious. I still had anxiety. I could make $300,000 in a month, $400K in a month, and still feel like it wasn't enough.
Mm.
And it's like, that's more than enough, of course. And it's not about the money. So, but like I said, I learned how to make money, but making money is never going to fulfill you. And it's hard to tell that to people that don't have money. They're like, yes, it will. Trust me. I've made $1 million in a month before.
Yeah.
It's the same as making 100K in a month. It's the same amount of money. What's the difference?
I feel like whatever amount we think right now is a lot of money, as soon as you make it, it's no longer a lot of money.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you realize it's not about the money.
Right.
But you need to make money to realize that sometimes.
Right.
So I got closer to God, started going to church, and instantly, like, I remember getting saved again, and instantly I felt lighter. Started forgiving, having less resentment. And I used to think I lost that dog in me, like that, like aggressive, like, dude, I got to be a beast. I still have it, but now I feel way better because I used to do a lot of things off aggression and anger, and it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Like, I broke a lot of records in my previous company when I was younger. I crushed every record. I was like a different animal then, but I wasn't. It was based off like proving people wrong and anger, which that's not healthy long term. So it shifted. I became lighter, and ever since then, putting him first and having biblical principles for my family, everything is better. Money's better, family's better, relationship with him better, relationship with my wife's better, relationship with my kids is better.
Crazy.
I have less anxiety. I have no resentment. I don't have any jealousy. I don't have any. It's wild, dude. I don't even know how to explain it.
When was this, like post 2020?
No, a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
Probably being more vocal was just, I feel like I'm called to, I feel like it was probably 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
And then feeling more vocal, maybe the last year and a half, 2 years, was I just feel called because I see so many people struggling.
Yeah.
And so many people, maybe they have the money or they have the fame or they have the cars, but they're missing something. And usually it is some spiritual, it's putting God first and having a source from him.
Yeah.
And I just see too many people. And what really sparked me is understanding that I was called to help people because they're taking God out of schools. They're taking the Pledge of Allegiance out. So there's an evil force working, and I feel called to help people understand what the truth is.
Yeah.
When you want to hide the truth is more important than ever.
Yeah.
So I feel called to do that. So now it's just kind of natural.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
That's so good.
I was changed from the inside out because of that. And I can't describe it. You have to just experience it.
Right.
And walking, and I saw everyone I respected, Omar, was walking with God, and they just moved different. People that have God on their side, that put God first, have a different type of confidence, a different type of swagger, a different type of demeanor. They're just different. You can tell, like, they don't fear people. And I used to love that. I didn't have it. Now I have that, and it's the best feeling in the world. So I would challenge people. If you're discouraged, depressed, you're not where you want to be, you're stressed, you can't sleep at night, try putting God first, see what happens.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose.
Right.
Nothing to lose. Try it. You know what I mean? Most people I know that don't put God first, that in my experience are suffering and struggling. So if I saw half the people that didn't believe in God, they were like thriving, I'd be like, well, maybe it's not. But almost everyone I see that doesn't put him first is not satisfied.
Yeah.
And that could say something.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The pendulum I see is, it's got to get really bad
For sure.
to get to that place.
Backs against the wall.
Backs against the wall, rock bottom, perfect. And he's waiting for that person too. And then the other side is like, and I would love your insight on it. Like somebody who does have it all, successful, money, family, materialistic, but even is like, you look at them and they're like, they're fulfilled right now. They haven't hit rock bottom. And it's almost like, it's like, how do I get Jesus to this person? Like, I don't know, like, is there people that they're not there, they haven't hit rock bottom?
I think, and I think that he's always giving you signs.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't take the signs. For me, I think the best thing, people always ask, how do I inspire my mom, my brother, my sister, my friend, my fiance, my son? You don't. You live your best life.
There you go.
You practice what you preach. You walk the walk. If you walk the walk, you don't need to talk the talk. If you preach and you show people that you're walking with God and he's first, he's your source, and you're living an amazing life free of resentment, any resentment or hate you have in your heart, you're blocking all your blessings. A lot of times, in my opinion, I don't even feel like prayers work if you have hate and resentment. So you're like, my prayers aren't working because you still have hate and resentment in your blood, in your heart. Get rid of that. So I would say leading by example.
Yeah.
I would say you doing what you're doing, having this show, and even like John Maxwell said yesterday, you don't need to lead first or try to convince people. No. Just change how you talk about it, how you view what you're sharing with people, the presentation, and live right, and the right people will catch on.
Yep. So
and if not, shame on them until they figure it out. And if not, don't judge them. You know what I mean?
Good, dude. I mean, it's really cool to see, honestly. I believe God's doing something in the marketplace, and he's raising up, kingdom entrepreneurs that have a kingdom mindset, that understand the kingdom has a king, and that when you're in a kingdom, there's a way to go about things, and teaching other entrepreneurs the way. Like I don't know. I just feel like the shift kind of like
I see it too.
Yeah.
And it's needed.
Yeah.
There's some underlying evil forces, and it's needed. People like us are needed at the highest level.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you, man.
Dude,
this was great.
No, it's awesome.
I'm excited to get this out there.
What are you working on right now?
Honestly, to be honest, it's just family first. We have 4 kids. I'm trying to raise them right and continue to build a strong foundation. I'm continuing to share content so they can check out nothing to sell. They could check out my Instagram. If they're newer and they maybe want like a roadmap, they could check out some of my books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll link
I hope I gave some value to people. I hope some of my testimony inspired people to maybe live different or invest in themselves and live a better life, because that's what it's about, is living well.
Yeah. Dude, appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
Let's go.
hey, figure out how to print money, figure out how to add value to the marketplace, solve a problem people care about, figure out your passion with your strengths and solve a problem. There's a lot of money to be made. Learn how to print money. And then when you learn how to print money and make the money work for you, then just do what you feel like you're called to do. And you don't have to do it for money. And here's what's crazy. So you stop trying to focus on money and money comes. What did Maxwell say yesterday? He told me in the agreement, he goes, I've never tried to make money. I just feel a need and I add value first.